Hello, welcome to the Film Club. It's The Hunt for Red October, starring Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin. Joining me to discuss this classic submarine flick is Roger Moorhouse, the author of Wolfpack, Inside Hitler's U-Boat War, and Tim Hewitt, the filmmaker. We'll be discussing Crazy Ivans, safety measures on torpedoes, and a quite outrageous piece of mansplaining from Baldwin. I hope you enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the third in our four sub-special celebrating the publication of Roger Moorhouse's new Wolfpack book, Inside Hitler's U-Boat War, the definitive book on the U-Boat War during the Second World War. So today we're talking The Hunt for Red October, which I think was the film that all three of us were actually looking forward to doing. And but before we dive in, I mean, I do have a few things to note about this film, but it is fantastic. And I did watch it thinking, Crimson Tide is so good. Is The Hunt for October really as good as Crimson Tide? And actually, I think it is better than Crimson Tide. And is that even possible? It is possible. It's a quite brilliant, thrilling film. I've actually watched it twice in the last fortnight. It's that good. So... I forgot how good I read the novel as well, and I mean there are elements to it. I mean, I think this is perhaps true of the last film we did, We Dive at Dawn, but there was a slight element of propaganda in this, American propaganda.
Oh, what do you think?
Yeah, right. I said my propaganda detection is working. So I should just go through the basics. I know I'm talking a lot, but we'll go through the basics for The Hunt for Red October. So it was directed by John McTiernan, who famously directed Die Hard.
Yes.
And Predator.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Predator as well.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So he's obviously an absolutely outstandingly good filmmaker.
Yeah.
But those two films are 5 out of 5. And so I think this is a slightly male film. There's a woman, as in Mrs. Ryan at the beginning, and her daughter, and I think that's
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they at least get a couple of lines, very kind of the screenwriter, which was by Larry Ferguson and Donald E. Stewart. But so this film, it cost $30 million to make, 1990, this film. $30 million to make, made $200 million at the box office.
Yeah. Good business.
Obviously based on Tom Clancy's novel. It was his first, but there are hints, actually, to one of his subsequent novels, Cardinal of the Kremlin, which I can mention later. So the cast is outstanding. It's, of course, Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin, but also you get Joss Ackland, Tim Curry, you get Scott Glenn, James Earl Jones, Jeffrey Jones, Richard Jordan, Sam Neill, Stellan Skarsgård, Fred Thompson, Courtney B. Vance. I think that covers the sort of household names, but you can pick me up, Tim, if I've missed anyone.
No, that's pretty much it.
It's an outstandingly good cast. Would you call it an ensemble?
Oh, yeah.
Splendid.
Splendid. I think, yes, but the I guess it's star power that there are two clear leads.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think Sean Connery is undoubtedly. I mean, it must have been in his contract that I'm really the lead here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was I want to say relatively new for Alec Baldwin because it was early-ish in his career.
Yeah.
He hadn't really hit. I guess this was one of his first actual leading roles. I mean, he'd done Beetlejuice. But he wasn't really a lead in it. He was kind of like, I would say, probably a supporting character.
And it's a very, very assured performance from Alec Baldwin. If you'd say it's one of his earlier ones, because there's a tremendous depth to his character that he brings across very, very well. So.
And we'll have to at some point along the line do some comparisons between, of course, his interpretation of it and the great Harrison Ford. Because it's interesting that he didn't continue. into Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger.
Right.
I think that was for money. He wanted too much money.
I'm assuming it would be for money. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was lined up to do Patriot Games, but demanded too much. So
they went for Harrison Ford. You know.
Well, I would have thought Harrison Ford fee was a little bit higher, but
yeah, you would have thought. That's surprising.
I mean, Harrison Ford was a superstar, way more famous than, he'd been already working for over a decade.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin had done, I think the major films he'd done were, as you said, Beetlejuice, Married to the Mob, but he's not...
yeah, great film.
And Working Girl, but he's not a lead in either of those, is he?
No, I mean Beetlejuice, he was sort of he was sort of the leading couple, I guess, but you always think no, Michael Keaton was, except of course he's not the lead, Michael Keaton, at all. But yeah, he I thought he was really good in this. I thought he really suited it. I loved him anyway. I think he's a great actor.
He's got very good screen presence.
Yeah.
Yes, he's wonderful. And he, unlike Harrison Ford, I've always felt that he had a certain trepidation in the character. He wasn't assured and secure and confident.
Well, you've got the age difference between the two, of course. So as you get older, I mean, he's over 50, Harrison Ford, so he's a more experienced Jack Ryan who's been on the block.
I thought Patriot Games was the first one.
No,
actually, in the chronology of it, but no, am I wrong?
I don't think it is actually, because this Hunt for Red October was Tom Clancy. It depends if you're talking chronology of Jack Ryan or chronology of
maybe I'm thinking of Jack Ryan then.
Hunt for Red October was his first book.
Right. Okay.
But no, Tim, you're right, because it's that the way his character, Alec Baldwin's character, has that. There's nuance, there's depth to his character, because like he doesn't want, you find out halfway through that he's kind of damaged by that. The experience, was it a chopper went down that he was in or something like that?
Yeah.
And then so he doesn't want to fly, and he's terrified of flying, and and then he's kind of quite reticent. He says, I'm just a sort of CIA wonk, I don't do action stuff,
No.
And I thought that gave a wonderful depth to the character, but he managed to pull it off.
Yeah,
because he didn't give the impression of being a sort of an all-action superhero.
But then when it comes
but when it had to be, he did.
That the helicopter sequence where that he does it without flinching.
But he's not doing anything special. He's on a sort of tied to a rope, and then he just releases it. Really.
Yeah. I think that would take quite a bit of balls.
I think that takes a bit of guts to.
Oh no, it does, but
it doesn't require
any kind of
the mid-Atlantic.
No, I'm not saying that wasn't a brave thing to do, but detaching yourself, he just pressed the button and then he released, and then he was caught by the. He didn't jump on the submarine, and there wasn't an extended sequence where he sort of managed to.
No, but that's made it plausible. It made
I agree.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's not Mission Impossible, basically.
Yeah, precisely. No. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk Sean Connery then.
Yeah.
I mean,
I loved it. I mean,
so watchable.
Yeah, it's great.
He's so watchable, exactly. And the weird thing with Sean Connery is, I think every role he plays, he just plays Sean Connery. But he's at the same time absolutely brilliant and absolutely convincing. Like, how to pull that off? He's basically doing a Russian sub-captain with a Scottish accent, and yet it's completely believable. I mean,
even when he's speaking Russian.
Yes, I mean, it's Russian. I mean, I did a bit of Russian when I was at university. I think my Russian is already infinitely better than Sean Connery's Russian is in this film.
Well, I like the fact that they do what I think they do it with another film we did on the podcast, Valkyrie. They do the whole start in that language, in the native language, and blend it into English.
Blend in, which is really neatly done.
Yeah. And then when the Americans board, they revert to Russian, so they don't quite. You can tell. You're like, oh yeah, no, you're not doing the standard. You're speaking English, even though you're speaking Russian. But you're right. The thing about Sean Connery is that it doesn't matter. I think that's a testament to his star power, because he's a Russian with a Scottish accent. In The Untouchables, he's an Irishman with a Scottish accent. Is there ever has he ever done a proper accent? I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I don't think he has.
So we slag people off for not having a very good accent. Yet Sean Connery does get a bit of a free pass.
He does get a pass
Connery.
because but he's so watchable. And like we said, I mean, there are scenes there where he's just, the camera's on him and he just raises an eyebrow, or he just, curls a lip in a smile or whatever. And he absolutely steals the scene. So he's such a brilliant actor anyway, that I think in a sense, that's the least of anybody's concerns. I mean, he's so, he's so good and commands the scene so well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he was, and it's his presence really that works. I'm trying to think who else in the 90s would have, as a non-Russian actor, maybe a Western actor who would have pulled it off. I'm sure there probably would be somebody, but I think The Hunt for Red October, the poster is kind of iconic because of his face.
Yeah.
I actually remember when I first watched it. I think it was a school film of ours, Ollie.
Yeah.
And I was obviously not in the right state of mind, and I think I found it quite boring. But subsequently watched it afterwards, and then really well. Let's get to the whole. You comparing it to Crimson Tide. I mean, they're completely different beasts, really.
Yeah.
In their style. This is a bit of a slow burn film.
Yeah. I much prefer this one. Honestly,
right.
I mean, it's got those, like we were saying last time around, comparing Crimson Tide with We Dive at Dawn.
Yeah,
it's like the way the filmmaker has the confidence in the audience to allow silence in a scene.
Yeah,
which I didn't get from Crimson Tide. It was much more boom, bang, constant dialogue and all that, which is a very modern way of doing filmmaking. I know.
Yeah,
but this Red October has, there are some scenes where, like I said, it's sort of literally an eyebrow raise, and that's all that goes on. And you've got lots of silence, and you don't have intrusive score coming in as well. So it's just trusting the audience to sort of get with the program, I think, which I think is almost a sort of lost art, I fear.
I think this is actually an example of where a film actually gets better as it goes on.
Yeah.
I love slow burn films, and I do think that you've got to settle in and really concentrate. You can't tap your phone while you're watching this. I think you'd ruin the experience. But I think as it gets to the midpoint and beyond, it just gets better and better. It actually becomes more and more exciting, which I think a lot of films do the opposite and peter out a bit. Yeah. And I just thought, I remember the last time I watched this was a couple of days ago. It really got so exciting as it went on, and I think that's power of a great film, because you've invested in the characters and you want to stick with it. I love Crimson Tide. I mean, it's always been one of my, as you know, it's my favorite Tony Scott film. And so if I were on a desert island and you said to me, you've got to choose one, for entertainment value, I'd probably choose Crimson Tide. But for contemplative chess playing filmmaking, I would certainly choose this.
Well, it's kind of got what I love about it, which Crimson Tide doesn't have, is it's kind of got all elements of the sort of military structure. So you get the government meeting, and then you get the boffin in the submarine factory. I'm using the wrong terminology.
Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
Who, of course, is in Beetlejuice with Alec Baldwin. Which is
yes. He's so flex. He can do anything. Jeffrey Jones.
Love him. He's got such a great face.
Yeah. But he plays sort of quite a straight-laced guy in this.
Yes. Yeah, which is good. Yeah, because he's usually a little bit comic, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is that the one-legged boffin? Is that's the
no? He's also the headmaster in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh wow, good knowledge.
He is in. I quite like to do a film called Ravenous, which he's in.
With Robert Carlyle. Is
Antonia Bird film.
Roger, love it. It's all about cannibals.
Brilliant, love that.
Yeah,
love that.
The
love a cannibal movie.
Western expansion of the United States. It's really, really interesting.
Colonialism, Ollie. Colonialism.
Is that based on? Oh, of course it is, isn't it? That's a true story.
It's it's a bit like The Hunt for Red October in that it's based on a sort of vaguely true incident.
That'd be interesting.
Right.
I mean, that's there is okay. So I think this is based on a clash between a U.S. and a Soviet submarine in this, I think, late '60s or early '70s, where um, the Soviet submarine was lost, and the Soviet authorities were convinced that this was hit by a U.S. submarine, which later put into port in Japan with a damaged periscope.
Yeah.
And they said, the American said, oh well, I think it was damaged because we hit some ice, and the Soviets didn't believe, were convinced that their submarine had gone down due to sort of, I don't know if it's an accidental clash or if, I don't think any torpedoes were. There's a suggestion that torpedoes were fired. It was a accidental collision, resulting in the loss of the Soviet submarine. But I mean,
that's a very rare thing that one submarine sinks another when they're both submerged. It's an extremely rare thing.
Right. Oh yes, you mentioned this last time, didn't you?
So I mean, if that is what's thought happened, then that's one for the history books, because it really doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, well, it's sort of shrouded in secrecy, really.
That's interesting.
I mean, because you get at the beginning of the film, you get the sort of, is this based on truth? None of what you're about to see ever happened. I love that though. That's brilliant. Yeah. Once you do that, I'm completely sold.
The thing is, it's actually.
Go on.
No, go. You love just having.
So I love having that little sort of green ticker.
Yeah, like you're on a sub. It's a submarine.
I love that just as a detail. I mean, it's a little bit dated, but I still loved it. Just then,
I think it's very believable though. The film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's plausible.
It is plausible, and I think I should correct myself talking about Sean Connery's character as being Russian. Of course, he's not Russian.
No,
he's Lithuanian.
And
if you look at in the history, you said 1990 this came out. Of course, it's bang on, on the moment where the Baltic states, of course, are the vanguard of breaking up the Soviet Union. I mean, they're the ones that were agitating hardest to exit the Soviet Union and all the rest of it. So in a sense, that angle is very, very plausible. That Ramius, the Sean Connery character, would at least be open to the thought of defecting and to handing over that weapon to the West and all the rest of it. So that's in that sense absolutely plausible.
Yeah, I
extraordinary risk that you'd think he's with his crew.
Okay, well let's drill into the plot slightly then. So I had a few things to say. Which I
always
is the Red October actually not that great a submarine?
Why?
Because so we're told at the beginning they've got this caterpillar drive, and Jeffrey Jones says, "Oh, my daddy told me about a ship sailing off this coast of New York, and this could put 80 warheads across the coast of
before they even have time to react,
comparing it to the Cuban Missile Crisis, and we wouldn't know anything about it, blah blah blah." And then the first American submarine that actually manages to detect it prior to the Caterpillar system being engaged,
which is the Dallas,
which is the USS Dallas under the command of Burt Mancuso, which is just quite the most brilliant name.
Can I just say Scott Glenn is an absolute god.
He's up there for the awards later.
Absolutely. But his name, the character name, Burt
Mancuso.
Wonderful. Only a Burt Mancuso could be in charge of the USS.
Bart Mancuso.
Bart.
Is it Bart?
Yeah, Bart.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Burt. Right. Okay. Oh, that's even better. That was possible. But anyway, yes. So the first Los Angeles class attack submarine, the USS Dallas, picks up the Red October, and within a few minutes, they've detected that it's this seismic anomaly is man-made, and they can pick it up whenever they want.
But that was the brilliance of the Jonesy character, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, is it not the brilliance of the Dallas submarine? As he says, we've got $40 million worth of computer, and you've just picked this up on a hunch.
Yeah, and isn't this exhibiting American prowess and superiority over the Soviets?
Of course.
Yeah. Was it luck?
Yeah.
So the Red October is therefore inferior.
Well,
Well,
I think the point would be that, you know, for a lesser crew and a lesser hydrophone operator or whatever his title was than the Jonesy character would not have picked it up. It was Jonesy being brilliant, and it takes time to show right at the beginning. It shows Jonesy being brilliant.
Yeah.
With his new charge, his apprentice or whatever he was.
Yeah, that's all great. I agree.
So all of that, you know, so it does show us that he's an exceptional, you know, brain.
But presumably anyone in that position has a proficiency in the kind of in the skill
Ollie,
required.
you're just going to pick the whole thing apart.
Maybe.
Now?
Hello, Ollie here. I wanted to let you know an event happening in London on Saturday, the 1st of November at the Imperial War Museum, Lambeth. This podcast and others are getting together for a podcast live day. Great friends of the show, Tessa Dunlop and Ian McGregor, will be joining me as we discuss how we memorialise war and the bomb that ended World War II. Head to the Imperial War Museum website for tickets or click on the show notes, and I hope to see you there. Well, my next question was,
basically,
Captain
the whole thing's
Ramius really that good a captain?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the logic on Ramius being a crap captain? Come on.
Well, I think alerting the Soviets, he says, okay, I get
sent the letter, yeah.
Yeah, sending the letter.
Wasn't a great idea, to be fair. But it was his father-in-law or something, wasn't it?
His wife's uncle. His wife's uncle.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
His wife's uncle, yes. So, and by the way, I'm very impressed with the wife's uncle's tea set. I really want one of those tea sets. It's the glass with the metal, silver with glass inside it.
Yeah.
Really lovely.
Let's shout out to the props department.
Yeah, well done, then. I was looking on eBay. Very difficult to find ones that look so elegant, actually.
Okay. I think you need the Soviet version of eBay.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe maybe need the dot.
I think this is the most you've picked apart a film, in fact.
It is.
Captain Ramius, but that's maybe not his sort of skill as a submarine captain sending the letter, but it does make life, as he said, I'll give us 1 in 3 chance. I was like, well, if you'd not
I think he's a pretty good captain.
You'd have
I think he's a pretty. I think he's a pretty good captain.
I haven't finished. Okay, so the murder. Okay, so the murder. I mean, I assume they're also impressed with him as a sort of legendary captain that it's not possible that he would. Shout out to the name of the KGB, the political officer. He's called Putin.
Oh yeah.
Yes, indeed. Noticed that. Yeah.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Played by Peter Firth, who people might know.
Must be coincidental if this came out in 89 or 90.
90.
That must be coincidental.
You never know.
Never know. Ivan is the first name.
He was big. Wasn't he big in Spooks? Peter Firth.
Who was he?
Yes. Anyway, also when the submarine is sabotaged,
yeah,
and Ramius is in his cabin with Sam Neill.
Great team.
Yeah, and they're sort of having a heart-to-heart. He then, so the sabotage happened some time after. He then goes, "Oh yeah, maybe we should guard the important bits of the submarine." Like, okay, shouldn't you have done that immediately?
The important bits.
Yeah, I didn't hear the
You're paraphrasing.
Yeah. That's not what actually he said. No.
Don't worry about the expendable bits.
Yeah, exactly.
I think. Sorry, have you?
No, I think
points?
also. I think also
done?
his the USS Dallas detects the submarine so frequently without much difficulty, even when it has to break off and pick up Alec Baldwin, then go back down. It finds him within minutes. So is he really that?
Can I ask? Is the caterpillar thing an actual fact?
I did look this up, and yes, it is. It's a, but it's more. I think it's more theoretical.
Okay.
And the idea is that the Red October is the first one that's done this.
Yes. First one that's made it work.
So, yeah, because Jeffrey Jones says we tried it, but we could never.
Yeah, exactly. So is it still in real life, Ollie? Is it still theoretical?
Well, no. It's when I say theoretical, I don't think it's been applied to submarines.
Yeah.
But there is a sort of marine propulsion version. I can link it into the show notes for listeners who are interested and want to do a deep dive.
Yes, a deep dive.
But the fact that the Red October is the first one to have it done, then it does make it slightly plausible that a genius in an American submarine could detect something that maybe the computer hasn't picked up on because it's new, and whereas if the Russians were to continue this and mass produce them and perfect them, then you'd maybe understand that. But the fact that this was the first one that ever did it, maybe was a bad idea that Captain Connery decided to use this to defect.
Oh, what? Because it's the first version, so it's imperfect because it's
maybe.
Got this, yeah. I mean, it is funny that they've created this caterpillar drive that doesn't really work because it makes a man-made sound.
Yeah. Which is one thing that maybe you would argue, okay, look, if we're going to do this, maybe make it sound a little bit more like, I don't know, a whale.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that line said whales humping or something. So make it sound like whales humping. So yeah, I mean, you could, just do that.
Well, it's but the sound of the caterpillar drive is like someone whacking a hammer on the side of the submarine. I mean,
yeah,
come on, guys.
And you've got to be pretty intuitive to think to say, but now listen to it, speed it up.
Yeah,
that's kind of
bang,
like
bang, 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 bang.
Oh, if you play it backwards, it's
it tells you the devil's in the room.
Exactly. But that's great suspense for a film. You've got to have that as a cinematic device. So
Ollie,
I love it.
Suspend your disbelief.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, this doesn't change the fact it's a great film. But the other thing I'd like to talk about are safety measures on torpedoes. It's my great big butt.
Oh yes, you love this. This came up a couple of films ago, didn't it?
Yeah,
I think it comes up in every film.
Every modern. I mean,
even a film on land.
Yes,
it's just there is a major problem in the Soviet Navy's submarine schools. They're not teaching them that your torpedo, when you fire it, has to arm itself and it needs a certain distance, because this is 2 films now where and in this film, Stellan Skarsgård, the captain, makes this mistake twice. He
does it twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, also
he's too busy looking threatening and surly, and not thinking about his security measures.
Yes. Exactly. Are these torpedoes that have safety measures as well? I mean, they're torpedoes. It's just sort
You'd hope.
Yeah, I mean, why do
it's
they
health and safety gone mad, Ollie? Is what it is.
Wokery. Woke torpedoes.
Safetyism is what it is.
Yeah. But because also, of course, Bart Mancuso, when he is thinking about firing his torpedo, he says to the torpedo guy, make sure the safety measures are on. I don't want this fish coming back to us.
Yeah.
As well.
So that was a problem. I mean, that was a problem. I think, I came across that, if I may, link into my new book out now.
Any chance you get, Roger.
But this was, the Germans had acoustic homing torpedo, or acoustic torpedoes, basically, in World War II. They developed them during the war. And one of the problems that they had was that it could potentially loop around and hit yourself, right? If it didn't find its target, that it would come round. So there was, this is one of the reasons why, when they fired their torpedoes, the first thing that the commander usually did was to get out. They would dive and try and disappear, just in case the torpedo came back. So, because they had dreadful trouble with malfunctioning torpedoes, particularly at the beginning of the war. So it was if that's referenced in the film, but that happened in in real life as well, and even in the Second World War.
I suppose these 1990 torpedoes are not advanced enough to. It's not like they would stick to the Red October if it was fired. It would, coming from the Dallas.
No, I suppose not.
It would be heat seeking. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's also acoustic. I don't know. I don't know what the targeting method would have been. How it would lock on. Yeah, I'm not sure in 1990.
But the other thing is that all these subs have nuclear missiles on, don't they? Does the LA class Dallas have nuclear missiles on it?
I think so.
They said it was an attack class.
What would otherwise be the point?
Well, just a tactical sub to sort of look for Soviet ships. But presumably the goal is to do what Jeffrey Jones said was so dangerous, was to park your submarine right off the coast of your enemy.
Yeah.
And he sort of says these madmen have created this submarine that's going to fire, that can sit off the coast. I mean, surely that's the end goal of every nuclear submarine.
Yeah.
So I don't quite
think so.
Again, I think Jeffrey Jones was, it seemed to be a kind of, it's okay for us to do it, but when they do it, it's awful.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's part of the propaganda of.
Indeed.
That we mentioned before.
I'm just looking at the LA class. It has torpedoes, has Tomahawk attack missiles, Harpoon anti-ship missiles, and mines. It doesn't appear to have nuclear weapons.
Ah, okay.
There you go.
Another woke.
So maybe but that's what you were saying, that maybe it's simply there to track.
So it's nuclear powered, but it's not nuclear armed.
And then once it tracks and finds a Soviet submarine, then call in Jack Ryan.
Well, yeah, that's the
So the other I guess the big 50-50 call that he makes that pulls off that works for him is the Crazy Ivan. How many Crazy Ivans is?
Love that. It's a great scene. Yeah, I love that it's called a Crazy Ivan as well.
Yeah. Great. But I think only a Hollywood screenwriter can put that in.
Yeah. No, it's a great moment. It's a great moment. So is that bringing us seamlessly to our favorite scenes, Ollie? Is that what you're doing here?
Not necessarily, but we can. I know time is precious. Right. I had the first. I'm not quite sure. I can't quite remember if this is in order, but the briefing scene where Jack Ryan's pulled in to inform the sort of National Security Council. And I want to give a massive shout out, and we'll talk about this more, to Richard Jordan, who plays the National Security Advisor.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's great in that.
And this is, where he explains who Ramius is. That's a really good scene. Then
when he says, "Son of a bitch," he's trying to defect.
Yeah.
They're all the noise, and then he says it again, and then they all stop.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant scene.
Yeah, and after they all leave, the sort of little tete-a-tete between
he says he was patronizing you and you kicked his ass.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And James Earl Jones. Interestingly, I know Robert Redford died recently. I'm not sure if you're aware that James Earl Jones, his father was an actor.
Yes, he was, and he was in The Sting.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. His father was Robert Earl Jones, and he plays the sort of mentor of the Robert Redford character in The Sting.
Astonishing cinema knowledge there from you two.
The weird thing is about that, very quickly, is that The Sting was one of my favorite films growing up, and I never knew that. But then when I watched it about 5 years ago, there's a scene with him and Robert Redford, and I remember thinking, that guy sounds a little bit like Darth Vader. Yeah. And I looked it up and I went, oh my God, I did not know that all my life.
Very distinctive voice, that family.
Brilliant.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So then I had the first initiation of the caterpillar scene where they start singing the Soviet anthem and then the Americans go, I thought I heard.
Yes. That was awesome.
That's great.
Next, I had the aircraft when Jack Ryan arrives on the aircraft carrier, and then you get the discussion with. I'm merging a few scenes, but really it's based on the aircraft carrier. You get the discussion with the admiral, the rear admiral, and then the fighter crash on the deck, and the discussion about how to get the Soviets off the. sub. That's fantastic. Then I've got I think the sort of chopper to the Dallas scene, so realistic. The helicopter and the bad weather and the
Yeah.
If you don't stay here, a war is just what you'll get, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the nuclear leak, they have to the Red October has to surface because they've got a nuclear leak. They've got to get the crew off, and then sort of not long after, then my final proposed scene is when they have the kind of submarine dogfight underwater. 3 submarines involved.
Yeah. Can I add one?
Yeah, of course.
The scene between Alec Baldwin and Scott Glenn, where he talks about the Crazy Ivan to starboard.
Yeah.
At the bottom half of the hour and all that stuff. And he's trying to convince Scott Glenn's in the process of giving the orders basically to attack. Preparatory to attacking the Red October. And Baldwin is trying to convince him that this is a defection. And so you've got sort of 2 almost parallel narratives running in that scene. And the tension that it ratchets up between the two, I think.
2 great performances, actually.
Really good performances, yeah.
I'd also like to put in the scene, the bedroom scene, different film.
The Montana.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, the when he's lying on his bunk and talking to Sam Neill, because I thought it was nice to a juxtaposition in a film like this to have, because you know why I put that scene in, because I remember the very first time, but the last time I watched this, there was something in it that added a bit of tension that I thought, I don't know why, I just thought, is this a ploy from Sam Neill or something? And it added a bit of ambiguity to, I don't know, maybe rewatch it and just have a look at Sam Neill's performance. And I just wondered if he was sort of testing Sean Connery's veracity. And I just really I thought they were very good. I thought there was a bit of subtext, which I thought was
okay.
And it's not the first scene you would think of in the
not at all. I know what you mean. But then he revisits that with that sort of rather plaintive, the death scene where he says, "I would have liked to have seen Montana," which is kind of
it's a bit Hollywood schmaltz,
it's
Montana's a beautiful state.
Montana's a beautiful state.
Big sky country.
Yeah, lots of horses.
That scene though, it's let down by we should probably protect.
It's your pet peeve thing. Yeah.
And also, it is a bit cheesy, or I like the fact that Sean Connery doesn't really give much away of his character.
No, that's why I found it quite interesting, because it was almost like I just felt like there was some underlying unspoken something that I thought was quite interesting, the way they brought that through without actually saying.
But then that's the nature of interactions in that system, in any totalitarian system, is that you never know who you can trust, and everything is a little bit hedged and a little bit cautious.
But there's Sam Neill opening his heart at.
Yeah, but Sean Connery isn't, which is kind of interesting.
Yes.
What about the murder?
The murder when he slips on his tea.
Yeah.
Bloody death trap, those submarines. Well,
that's what do you mean? What about it? Well, I just thought it was quite good.
It's an excellent scene because
really and also that's when the language flips and you kind of I know what I'm in for. But also, I just thought I think for someone who hasn't seen the film, it would come as a little bit of a what the heck just happened.
What just happened? Yeah.
I just thought it was worth mentioning because it kind of is the catalyst of.
Yeah, it's very good.
The rest of the film goes.
I mean, it's full of great scenes. My narrowing down is the national security chief discussion, which I loved. That struck me at the time. This is a great scene.
Yeah.
And the Scott Glenn and Alec Baldwin. I think to me it's those. And actually, so I love the one with the Russian national anthem or Soviet national anthem, which was how I actually learned the words to the Soviet national anthem back in the day. Was just by playing that
on air.
You think that's bad? You should have been at dinner the other night. Right.
Was it the German national anthem?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
So I think, but the sub dogfight between 3 submarines, and the way to go, Dallas, when it separates the two, and the dropping the countermeasures.
Is that when they say that he's scared the Americans out of the water?
Yeah, that's wonderful.
That's a
the submarine bursts out
yeah.
of the surface.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
the thing is that was the dogfight, as you call it, was that, remember when we discussed in the last one about the underwater topography?
Mm.
I mean, this is like a canyon dogfight in Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's kind of, and it's
that's where they're being chased by a torpedo drop from the air.
Yeah,
going through.
But they're still going through the canyons, which is nice.
So
whereas I'm not referring to that bit.
Oh, sorry.
I'm referring to later when they go to someplace deep after the. After the nuclear sort of leak.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Okay.
The Laurentian abyssal plain.
Right. Well done. Yeah. And the other thing I'd like to know is if you only need a handful of people to sail your submarine underwater.
What are all the others doing?
Yeah.
That's a really
I can see where you're going there, Ollie.
That's a very,
there are tremendous savings to be made in all of all of these submarine fleets. I think,
AI, okay. All right.
I think the helicopter scene was amazing.
I mean, it's yes, it is. That's why I selected it as one of my nominations.
I
would think we're only going to get consensus if we settle on something we've all three mentioned, and perhaps the NSA briefing.
I think that's a great scene as well.
Yeah.
So I think that that may well be our best scene.
Good.
I mean, it's not my favorite. I think I'd go with the Fred Thompson aircraft carrier bit. But let's go with the NSA briefing. Okay. Most inaccurate scene.
Oh, blimey.
Now, I don't know if Soviet...
Have you got a list?
Soviets... Well, I have mentioned a few things, yes.
Sean Connery as a Russian.
Yeah. Sean Connery throughout.
And actually, his toupee is really good. It's very convincing. He doesn't look like a bald person with fake hair slapped on.
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah, that's true.
And also, I should shout out to the costume department. They all look fantastic, especially the Soviet uniforms. Really cool.
Yes. I would just, I love Connery in this, but I would just raise a small concern, shall I say, about Sean Connery's Russian, because, I mean, he could have just tried a little bit. He only had a few words. He could have just tried a little bit harder with the voice coach.
And hard.
Yes,
I'm afraid dismiss that complaint because it's Sean Connery. So sorry. I think what the whole safety measures with
you're back on that, Ollie.
Topolov.
You're obsessing about that.
Well, I just think he would have worked out second time. Perhaps there's something part of these torpedoes that's stopping me from winning this fight.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. There's a plot.
And can you hear singing from another submarine?
Well, it depends how close you are, but yes, you can, because
that's quite amazing.
Because sound travels in weird ways underwater. So potentially, yes. Thought I heard singing.
Okay.
Via the hydrophone.
So not that one. And
they don't use. I mean, one of the things that the thing with the ping, one ping, basically.
Yeah.
The thing with the ping, that's they use hydrophones much more than they use sonar, because sonar gives your own position away. So when they're all tracking each other like they are through a lot of this film, they're using hydrophones more than they're using sonar for that very reason, because you can remain hidden and anonymous yourself while using a hydrophone, but not once you use active sonar.
The gunfight at the end, he says to him, what's the line about Bullet? He said that there are things in here that if you shoot, it won't go very well, or something. I can't remember.
Don't react well to bullets.
Don't react well to bullets. And then I think there's a little bit subsequently of shooting
everywhere. Amongst nuclear reactors. It's not great.
And not a lot of caution was taken in
that's very
having
true.
Heard those exact words from Sean Connery.
Yes, that's very
I think a slight letdown of this film is I think I remember, if you've watched this film after the Gladiator, then you'll immediately suspect that second cook officer, deputy cook, whatever his name is actually the bad guy, the GRU officer.
Who appears in LA Confidential as one of the heavies.
Oh, really?
Thomas Arana.
There you go.
Yeah.
Great
He's
face.
also in The Bourne Supremacy.
Yeah.
Yes, that's quite a CV for someone we've never heard of.
Well, he's kind of he's always plays either a baddie or a he's got a sort of chiseled skull. He plays Russell Crowe's sort of right-hand man in the army who takes over the Praetorian Guard after Russell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Got rid of. Okay, so most of it, I think surely there's these safety measures on these.
Yeah, I mean it's 100% without a doubt.
And Rainier seems to be the only person in the entire film who's aware of them.
Yes.
Because he says, speed up. And everyone's going, don't do it.
If only that it enables you to sleep at night, Ollie, we'll go with that.
Thank you. Right. So best performance. So for best, of course, we also have a best supporting performance, but for best performance, it's got to be between Baldwin and Connery.
Yes.
And
it
sounds like Connery might be in trouble here.
Well, I'm Team Baldwin on this. I thought he was.
I agree. I thought he was great.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, he doesn't have to speak Russian, so
that's true. Well, he does. He does a little bit. He does.
That is well done.
And his Russian actually is
a bit better than.
He did listen to the voice coach.
So Alec Baldwin's Russian's better than.
Yes, better than Sean Connery's, but it's a low bar.
Alec Baldwin's Russian is better than Sean Connery's Irish.
Okay, so I think poor old Sean loses out to Alec Baldwin here. It's a shame.
I mean, Alec Baldwin's nuanced. I mean, as Roger said, he's nuanced, and everything he says is with conviction, and so believable.
Well, I want to flag up a major, perhaps. I mean, it's maybe even worth a new Alec Baldwin award for mansplaining, because he is on the plane at Heathrow and he's going to fly to America, and the stewardess says to him, "I think you should get some sleep," and he says, "Oh, no, I can't sleep because of turbulence." And she says, "Excuse me?" And then he tells her what turbulence is.
Yeah.
I think she knows what turbulence is.
Yeah.
I'm with the CIA.
And that's a disgraceful piece of mansplaining.
A perfect piece of mansplaining, isn't it?
Yeah. I think
almost worthy of an award.
Those were the happy days before the concept of mansplaining. So
it was, but I think mansplaining was brought in to remove incidents like that. It's disgraceful. Explaining to a stewardess what bloody turbulence.
I think it's intended to show how bloody nervous he was. You know that he's.
Well, he came off sounding awful.
He just came off sounding like a twat.
All they needed was the stewardess to say, yeah.
I'm an air stewardess. This is my job.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. So best supporting. Now, this is going to be difficult because I've got quite a few nominations. So my nominations are Scott Glenn, Joss Ackland, Jeffrey Jones, Courtney B. Vance, Sam Neill, Tim Curry. He's brilliant. James L. Jones, Richard Jordan, and Fred Thompson.
Yeah, you are actually just listing all the supporting actors.
I basically am. But okay, if push came to shove, it's either Scott Glenn or Richard Jordan or
Sam Neill,
Fred Thompson.
But Sam Neill's performance is a little bit. Sam Neill's performance is a little bit by the book.
I'm not that interested in Sam Neill.
No, he's a bit like he was up and coming. He hadn't really done a lead.
He'd screen tested for James Bond.
Oh yes, of course he had. Yeah, that's true. No, he wouldn't. He shouldn't have got that, and he didn't. But
so who was Jonesy?
Courtney B. Vance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Scott Glenn is my choice.
I think if you put a gun to my head, I would say Richard Jordan, the NSA director.
Yeah, he's good.
Absolutely.
Very good and loved the scene. We've already bigged up the scene.
But no, there's the other scenes where he's talking to the Soviet ambassador.
Yes,
he's so good in that.
Yes, he's excellent.
You lost another submarine.
Yeah.
No, I'm with Tim. I'm going Scott Glenn all the way
because Scott Glenn has
so good.
the huge conflict that he plays so well.
Yes.
And that scene with Alec Baldwin where he's trying to convince him that it's a defection, and he's taught. I mean, that I don't.
Well, I have a problem with that scene actually, because in reality, if you're Bart Mancuso and you've been ordered to shoot down the, what's the right term? Not shoot down the submarine, sink the submarine. You're not going to listen to some guy who's just dropped into your submarine, who's got basically quite a wacky idea that this is a defection.
But then that's the tension of the scene. Is
and also
but I don't find it believable.
It doesn't deter him from the performance.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. But it is a weakness in that, in the performance. He's portraying this highly professional, proficient captain, and he's swung by does he do a crazy Ivan in the bottom half of the hour?
And actually, it ends with the cliched line, "Well, I'll be goddamn."
And actually find the NSA advisor a lot more believable, because he early on he says, "Look, I'm a politician," and he'll do whatever. So the defection's out of his mind. He's sort of right, just sink the sub because he's a captain on the loose or whatever. Because of course circumstances have changed, as Bart Mancuso says to Ryan. But I just find him a lot more believable. But I guess you two are knocking. I mean, Scott Glenn is a wonderful actor.
No. I agree. I think that he's great.
But I would strip him as command and court-martial him for not obeying orders.
Wow. Well, I would say you're court-martialed, but what a wonderful performance.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay. All right.
And when are we ever going to get Scott Glenn an award? I don't think we are.
Okay. Well, they'll give it to him then. And just a shout out to Richard Jordan. He died only 3 years after this film was made. And he was cast as the bad guy in The Fugitive, and he died during filming and withdrew, and was the Jeroen Krabbe, the Dutch actor, took the role. So a very sad, very young when he died.
How did he die?
I think a brain tumor.
Oh, jeez.
But Tim Curry was very good as the sort of slimy doctor.
Yeah, he was. But I love Tim Curry so much. But whenever he does something serious, I half expect him to break into either song, or say something like "Have a pizza."
Or reveal that he's wearing
Home Alone 2.
Reveal that he's wearing fishnet stockings.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
He is quite. As a result, he is sadly.
Just before we get to our
hard to take seriously.
Before we get to our legacy rating, just a little bit of sort of Ryanology. His wife in this film is British, whereas in the other film she's Anne Archer, an American.
Who's awesome.
Maybe. Anne Archer.
Anne Archer. Yeah, she's awesome.
Right. Okay. So legacy rating. I mean, this is the mother of all sub.
5 out of 5. Surely.
It's absolutely up there. Yeah. It's a brilliant film.
Yeah.
I love it. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah. Okay. 5 out of 5. Well, that's the end of that.
That's the end of that. Yeah.
Okay, well, this has been fantastic. Next one's
Das Boot.
Well, you've got to be careful actually what you say about the mother of all, because we've got Das Boot next.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
But that's about sort of sneaky, cowardly German submarine.
But it's in German, Ollie. How are you going to be able to
merchantman on the Atlantic?
How are you gonna cover up your sort of rampant, tutophobia?
And it's 4 hours, remember?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
a night in with Ollie.
Yeah, I'm watching the theatrical version, which is on Amazon and is 2.5, I think.
Oh, okay. I'm going to watch the director's cut.
Okay.
Which is what, 4?
4.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't think I can face
I'm doing
another
the director's cut as well. To be honest, so
hour and a half.
we shall compare notes.
Well, yes, we'll need to arrange time to do that. But that's been The Hunt for October, criminally ignored by the Academy Awards.
It got one, didn't it, for sound, I think?
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Well done. Best sound effects editing, well done. And nominated for best film editing and best sound. I think costume could have been up there.
Yeah, it's true.
And of course, yes, I think the supporting cast were really wonderful. But okay, I think that's been our film club. So this just leaves me to thank Roger and Tim. Of course, as ever, links in the show notes for these submarine films for Roger's book on the U-boat war. If you want to know anything about the U-boat war, you must buy Roger's book, which is brilliantly written, and I'm reading it at the moment and loving it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ollie.
But thank you both. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Ollie. Thank you, Roger.
Thanks, guys. That was great fun.
Thanks so much for listening. Links are in the show notes, including to the podcast show live at the Imperial War Museum. Please share with friends and family, and if you want to get in touch, you can through X or email history@aspectsofhistory.com. But until then, thank you and good night.